Hey YouTubers. Alright, today we're doing a review and build of the Move Bumpers bumper kit. We're going to do a rear bumper. We're working on a 2020 Ram 3500 dually mega cab, as you can see there in the background. Okay. Needs a rear bumper. Heavy duty bumper at that. And what we've got today is our Move bumper kit. It's right there. I've been messing with it for the past few hours. I mean, man, I'll tell you guys, Move states that these things are pretty much, easy, quick, put together bumpers. But like I said, I've been messing with it for the past 2 hours, just trying to figure out exactly how it goes. Yes, there are instructions. Yes, there is a QR code that you can scan and read and follow the instructions. But I'll tell you what, I'll post a picture on this video here in a minute. But I'll tell you what, when you start putting this thing together according to the instructions, you're supposed to have the back seam is supposed to be equal. Well, when you end up with a 1/4 inch gap in the front, I mean, that back seam can't be equal. I mean, I'll post some stuff on here too, and you'll be able to see what I mean. But it tells you to stand this thing upright on the top ledge. Well, the top ledge is only 1.5 inches, and then you got 8 inches on the top or on the bottom side overhanging. How in the hell are you supposed to stand this thing up? I mean, for the average DIYer, how are you supposed to stand this thing up and line things up and weld them? I mean, and I'm just trying to do it like the average DIY guy, all right? Right here on my garage floor, just like every DIY guy's gonna do, okay? Well, you can't stand up that center section on its edge. I mean, you gotta use something to prop it up, floor jack or something thereof the sort. But then, once you stand up that center section, and you put one side out to it. I mean, on this one, like I said, that side wing, which is known as W1 on the instructions, if you line it up the way the instructions tell you to, there was a 1/4 inch gap, if not a little bit more, on the face of it. Well, nobody wants a 1/4 inch gap on the face. Nobody wants to even remotely try to weld a 1/4 inch gap, especially a DIY guy. So I think we might just end up throwing out the damn instructions as they go, or as it is right now. Because I've built countless off-road bumpers from scratch, and I've never had this much issue. So, I mean, and this thing's telling you to put the face and the outside cover together before you even put the bumper brackets on. Now, see, I've always taken the bumper off, put the bumper brackets up and on, and then built off of the bumper brackets. That's the way it's supposed to be done. This is telling you, no, you don't even need the bumper brackets. You just need to weld the face and the main bumper cover together, and then you can put on the bumper brackets, and then you hang everything up and on, and then you weld the brackets to the cover. Well, that's a little wonky if I've ever had my say on things. So, I don't know. We're going to see how things go. Like I said, I've got it kind of set it It looks like crap, guys. I know. I'm using my bucket. I'm using a 3 by 3/4 inch, square tube to weigh everything down. I've got 2 clamps on there. I got another, that hole that's in the side. I mean, you can see that. The piece that goes to that hole is right there. I'm using it to flatten out the front face. So, you tell me, guys. Like I said, I've been messing with this for roughly 2.5 hours. I mean, it's 5 a.m. I started at 3:30 a.m. I just couldn't sleep. So I needed something to do. Figured, why not put together a bumper? So this almost makes me want to go to bed. But I don't know. We're going to throw out the instructions. We're going to take a look and figure this thing out. But you guys are going to take the trip with me. All right? So hang on. Watch this video. We'll see how it goes. And let's roll with it. All right, guys. Thanks. Keep watching. Okay, so after hours of trying to figure out this whole bumper thing with the Move bumper on the 2020 Ram, I finally broke down. And called Move Bumpers. Their instructions for the 2020s, 2019 to 2021s, there's no instructions on how the actual bracketry works for the bumper bracket itself. So there's nothing here in the instructions to show how you're supposed to put this together or where exactly it goes. They give you, let me grab it. They give you this plate, which as you can see back here, right here, that mounts to the factory bumper brackets. Well, you're supposed to take this plate and weld this plate, C-channel, bend piece, to it. So it ends up like this, okay? But there's no instructions on where to put it. Do you put it here? Do you put it here? I mean, there's no instructions whatsoever. So when I called Move Bumpers, I talked to them, and what they want, or what they have in their original design, is if you take, as you can see, there's two different widths on the bends. If you take the long bend and put it on the bottom side, they want you to space this at about 2 3/8 of an inch from the edge to this side. 2 3/8 of an inch. Okay? So then it will center up. The one bolt will go just below, or the one bolt will go just above that bottom plate, and it'll center up like this. And then the whole C channel will be centered into the plate. So there's a little bit of gap on this side, and a little bit of gap on this side, just enough to run your bead. So in turn, it looks like this when it's all done being welded, okay? So that's where we're at. Like I said, I went through every ounce of the instructions, every video that they had on their website. I looked and tried to find YouTube videos, other YouTube videos where somebody had done a 2020 Ram or even a 2019 Ram. I mean, if you're looking at a different truck, most of the other trucks, the bumper bracket itself is cut, the holes are cut, and then it is bent. So it would look like this with holes in it. So all you have to do is bolt it to the truck and then weld it to the bumper. That is not this case, obviously. So that's where we're at today. Space it top to bottom, give it, make it center, top to bottom, and then 2 3/8 of an inch on this side. And then from there, it just kind of slides into the bumper, and then you tack here, here, and here, and that's how you end up with your bumper bracket mounts. Now, also when I spoke to Move Bumpers, I believe the gentleman's name was Thomas, they specifically slot these 4 holes on this bumper to give you some leeway. Now, if you're not a perfectionist, it doesn't matter how this goes, okay? It can be spaced all the way over here. It can be spaced over here. They don't care at Move Bumpers. They don't care. Me being a perfectionist and stability is key, I mean, it is a heavy-duty off-road bumper. I want mine directly in the center. So that's where we are going to place ours today. It's directly here in the center. Welded right, perfectly gapped, the way that it was designed in the computer system at Move Bumpers. Hang on, we'll get this welded up. And we'll start getting some, the other thing too, on the 2020 Rams, when you take the bumper off and you notice this bumper plate here, this bumper plate right here, this black piece, there's a hole here, top hole and a bottom hole. Well, there is also a centering pin that helps you center everything. You are going to have to take your plate, as you can see, take your plate and you are going to have to drill a hole like I did here. So it will give you a center hole so that you can center your bracket on to the bumper bracket, the factory existing bumper bracket. I know you probably could just grind it off if you wanted to. Me being a perfectionist, we drilled a hole. So, all right guys, hang with us. We're gonna get this thing welded up, tacked up, checked out. I'm gonna mark some places, see where it needs to go, and we're gonna rock it out. Hang with us. Alright, so here we are back at it on the Move Bumpers project for the Ram Dually. We had a little bit of a hiccup. We were dealing with the brackets that Move Bumpers sent to us. They based everything off of the 2500 Ram, which is completely different of a bracket system for the 3500 Ram. So Move Bumpers, thanks to them, I mean, I sent them off some pictures, some measurements. They knocked it out of the park 2 days out. I mean, sent me some new brackets, and as you can see on the Ram, we have, you know, somewhat of a bumper hanging system. So we got the brackets up and under, placed where I want them. Everything looks pretty level. I gotta weld the brackets up and in, and then we can start forming the outside wraparound of the bumper. So here we go. Let's get to it. there you have it. And that is what it's supposed to look like. Now, as you can see right here on these pieces that are inside the bumper, right here and right over there, those pieces actually I'll have to take them and drill holes in them and then make the section for the license plate lights that will fit into that. Also, I don't know if you can see it, but down right above the exhaust, right here, if you look right here, there is that factory body lip. I'm going to have to get some plate and mount it to the bottom of this bumper right through here all the way across to finish out that factory body lip. Because in that factory body lip is where the parking sensors sit. So once I get all this welded up, I'll set it back up and on, and actually, no, I'll probably measure out to see where my factory body lip needs to be now, how long it needs to be, and then I'll go from there, figure out where my park sensors need to be, and make it work. All right, here's the short unveil. It's not finished, but that's what it'll look like. factory license plate lights. We're gonna make the holes, put them in these plates, make the holes first, so then that way it's a little bit easier before trying to weld everything in place and then drill, cut everything out. So we're gonna get to it. In here on the inside, this is where the license plate light comes in, and on the factory bumper there is this bolt that goes through a bracket and holds everything in place, otherwise it could just slip out and fall out. So we're going to build a bracket, weld it down to here so that this bolts into it and it'll be secure. No worries about it falling out. Thanks. Okay, so I got these little tabs made. Basically, they'll sit down inside the bumper, weld them to it, and then this will slide through the bumper and then bolt to the tab. That way the license plate light will shine properly and we will still be legal. Hey, so all right. So far we've got the bumper all welded up, brackets in, light brackets in. I apologize because camera wasn't working properly when I did the sensor holes. Real simple, just measure where your factory sensors are, use an angle finder, figure out the angle that it's at. I drilled my holes while the bumper was on the truck. I used 1 1/4 inch hole saw, and I just held the drill at, a level with the floor, because my floor is level. Held the drill level and drilled straight through, and it gave me the perfect angle that these 2020 Ram bumper sensor bezels are at. So those will fit in real nice. Now we'll have to go through with those bumper bezels, or the sensor bezels, and up in here, since there's nowhere to clip them into on this bumper or on the factory bumper, they were just hot welded in the plastic. We will have to get some quick set epoxy and something that bonds to the steel. We'll probably make some grind marks or something, and make it to where the epoxy sets in. We might even drill a hole on each side to where with a step bit, since we're going to cover it with bed liner, we'll put that like a small hole on this side and a big hole on the outside, so that epoxy has like almost like a rivet effect, and then we'll grind it all smooth and coat it with bed liner, and you'll never know. So as far as today, the rest of the day goes, in this 2020 Ram, we've got the limited package, so it has all these bumper sensors. The wiring for all of this lays inside the bumper. Once again, there's none of that in this bumper kit. So what I did is I ran up the road to Summit Racing, which they're literally right up the road, and I picked up these Trail Gear zip tie tabs. They're a weldable zip tie tab, and basically I think there's 10 of them in a pack. It was $10. So they're the pre-cut tabs that have like an angle to it, so when you lay the wire in, it sits just inside, you know, it lays inside like this, and it cups it, and then you put your zip tie around it and it holds it in place. So I think they'll work out real nice. Laid the wiring harness down and in the way that it was in the factory bumper, and we're just going to take some of these bad boys, tack weld them in place, so that we've got a nice spot to zip tie this harness in. And when that's done, we'll go through, and in the next video we'll clean this all up, we'll spray it on the inside and do the outside. We'll show you how to do that, so stick with us. All right, now here is a close-up of those tabs. Like I said, they're made by Trail Gear. It's got this little angle on it, makes it real nice to kind of hook that wiring harness up and underneath. And as you can see, there's the slot. You can run it underneath through the center. However, they work great for brake lines. We've used them multiple times on race cars to zip tie brake lines down, airlines for lowriders or the lifted trucks. Take this thing off so I don't look so goofy. but works great for electrical. Like I said, I got it at Summit Racing. They come in a 10-pack made by Trail Gear. I think it was $10, but these things are super easy. Instead of sitting there trying to make your own tabs, you save a little bit of time, spend a little bit of money, and save yourself a headache. These things are awesome. Welds in real easy with my Miller Multimatic 220. I just put the setting on 1/8 inch because I mean these things aren't much. Yeah, works out great. So from here, I'm just gonna do a little bit of cleanup on the bumper and get it ready for paint. All right, guys. Thank you. Like I said, I'll put the description the link in the description below on this. If there's anything that you can think of, please don't hesitate to comment. Any questions, whatever, just let me know, and we'll go from there. But oh, there is one thing I did too on this factory limited. The Limited has a body styling package on it. Here, let me. Basically, if you look down here, there is right here. See that black piece? That is part of the body styling package on this truck. If yours has it, it will follow through all the way to the bumper. Now on the bumper kit that I'm using, by Move, they did not do a body styling extra. So what I did is I took some extra plating and I just made it from here so that it would follow that body styling, just to give it a little bit of an extra finished look, and then just kind of tapered it off back there on the end. I mean, it looks really good now that it's all done. It gives it a completed look instead of just a whoosh, cut off look. So if you want any information on that, you know, I can hook you up with that real easy. Tell you how I did it. Is basically 2-inch thick or 2-inch wide, 3/16 thick flat bar that I just kind of cut up and welded it on. So, all right, guys. Well, if you like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the videos. I mean, I got plenty more stuff coming. We're going to do full front bumper on this thing. We're going to do a review on the Best Top truck toppers, where it's the fold down soft cap. We've got a big hunting trip that we're headed out towards, and instead of hauling a trailer to bring back, we're hoping for an elk, ram, 2 rams, and a wild boar. Instead of hauling a trailer out there, you know, we're going to try this new top and see how it works out. But we'll get that front bumper. We've got a new grill coming for the truck. We're going to do some testing on some paint for making the exhaust look a little bit better up underneath from behind. We're going to check that out. We've got Cadillac that we're still just kind of figuring out what we're doing with it. And, you know, always something. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and the next video we'll do all the paint and I'll show you how we're doing all that. All right, guys, thanks.